Good morning, evening, or afternoon, whichever one's going on for you at this current point in time. Today we're looking at the Flex and the Ridgid jigsaws. Yes, the D handles, not the barrel grips. Again, both of them do offer one. I like variable triggers, and that's why I decided to go with the D handle. Not to say that barrel grips are bad, but this is my preference. Between the two, nobody on YouTube's really done a comparison of them, so I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why you would want the Flex over the Ridgid and why you would want the Ridgid over the Flex. This is 100% unbiased, even though I gotta say I do love Ridgid products. I have plenty of Ridgid tools. At the same time, I'm slowly getting into the Flex line, so picking up a couple of their tools like their router, their orbital sander. Over here we got their compact impact driver. I also have the compact drill, the compact, the half-inch compact impact wrench, yes, and then a bunch of batteries and stuff in the making. So you already seen the video about my the 1.6 vac. So slowly but surely, I'm trying to give Flex another chance because I'm visiting these tools about a year after my complaint video where I kind of gave everything back, and I already showed you that I have the miter saw and the brad nailer, and those things are still 10 out of 10. But let's get into this because that's why we're here. It goes without saying, Flex tools are unnecessarily heavy. So just to show you, no nonsense here. It is zeroed for the Flex. We're looking at, without a battery and without the blade attachment, we're looking at 5 pounds, 1 ounce. There's 1.5, we'll call it 5.1 pounds. As for the Ridgid, we're looking at 4.7. So if you're holding one over the other, I mean, the Flex does have its weight. The Ridgid is definitely noticeably lighter. But if you're at a station or if you're somebody who's, at a job site, the Flex, you're not going to notice that kind of weight. If you're somebody who's a handyman or you're on the move and you're grabbing your tools like myself, you're going to start feeling that. When you have to be packing up all your tools into a contractor bag and kind of grabbing them wherever you go instead of having pack out or stack pack or, the Pro Series, the Pro Gear 2.0 for Ridgid, if you're not carrying your stuff in cases and trailers and you're just, throwing it on your arm, you're going to notice the Flex stuff right away. So if you're looking for which one's lighter, right there, go for Ridgid. If you're looking for specifically which one performs better, it goes without saying the Flex is going to be stronger in terms of raw performance, in terms of bogging down less. You're going to find that the Flex is just going to have that oomph that the Ridgid may not entirely have. Not to say that if you put the right blade on either of them that they're not going to get the job done. Just to say if I had to, throw my hat in the ring, I'd say that the Flex would probably get it done a little faster without bogging down as much. If you're looking for one that has two lights, just to show you, let me grab a quick battery over here. Unlike the Ridgid, I like that there's also a dedicated light button. But if you look under, there's two LEDs, right, lighting your way. So if you're looking for which one has more visibility of your workpiece, it's definitely the Flex. Really quick shout out to Miller Construction because he was able to answer a question from a video from a year of his ago. And that was whether or not the Flex has a variable trigger. I bought this in the past, and the one that I had, when I would pull the trigger, it would just go straight to speed. There was no variable trigger. So you check in the manual and just show you on the screen. That's right. Flex themselves tells you, hey, this has a variable trigger. Battery in at the lowest speed, right? Right, so it does have a variable trigger. I will say that the Ridgid does have more settings or more range of feathering that trigger. So let me grab a battery just to show you. So the Ridgid only has one light. They are using that clear white LED, so definitely a lot of visibility. But it does also have a variable trigger. Right? So right? So the Ridgid does start off slower. So if you need to slowly score your material before you go in, if that's the one that you're looking for and that's what you do mainly with your stuff, the Ridgid has your back. They both have 4 speeds. They both have locking buttons for the trigger. If you are using the Flex, you can pull the trigger in all the way, put in your lock button, and then it'll stay locked while it's moving. Right. Pull the trigger one time and it unlocks. So it does have lockout mode. So if you want to keep going without having to pull the trigger, you got a long cut to make, you're not worrying about that consistency of the trigger. It's pulled for you. As for the Ridgid, it does not have that. However, you know, Ridgid has really nice triggers. So yeah, you can't push the trigger back to lock this thing out. But very nice. Both of them have orbital mode, right? They both have orbital cutting. And specifically, they both have 3 modes for that. So if you need to make orbital cuts, they both do it. I like that Flex has the dedicated light button, so if you don't need it, it's not eating your battery. At the same time, we have to talk about now the differences. So for the difference, Flex has the dedicated light button. The Ridgid, it's on when you're pulling the trigger. There's no way to turn that off. They both accept quick inserts, so when you put the blade in, there's no need to pull anything. Just push the blade in and they work. Toolless remove, all you have to do, pull this collar and it pulls on the collar to release the blade. Quick release, same thing with the Flex. So if you have a super hot blade, you don't have to touch it, just pull and it spits the blade out. Both solid. Both of them do have 4 modes. So you pull 1, 2, 3, 4 and automatic. So this will ramp up and ramp down based off of what you need or what you don't need. Same thing with the Ridgid, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Does not have auto mode, but still has 4 speeds for your necessity. An advantage for the Flex is that they actually have the chip guard. So I didn't put them on yet. They're still around here somewhere. But there's essentially little acrylic guards that keep all the chips in so that the dust collection is a lot more effective. However, I will say that the blower in here does blow a little bit harder than the Ridgid. So if you're looking for which one without dust collection is able to move chips away, I'd probably say the Flex on that. However, something that the Ridgid has that the Flex doesn't have is a dedicated blower switch. So if you need to turn your blower off and then hook up your vacuum, the tool is not trying to blow, you know, your debris or your wood away from the vacuum. It's counterintuitive for there to be a blower pushing it away from what the vacuum's trying to suck in. With the Flex, unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a way to turn the blower off. It's just always on. I get the whole point is to keep your area clear, but it doesn't make sense. Just let my vacuum do its thing, please. So the first downside for the Flex is that it doesn't have the ability to turn the blower off. As far as I'm concerned, again, if there's some button combination or something, some people were saying if you turn the orbit off, that it turns off the blower. That is not the case. I put my hand here while it's running and you can still feel the air. So it's definitely not true. Number 2, and probably my biggest gripe with this, is if you are looking for which one does bevel cuts better, you need a tool to go under here, and in there you should be able to see, hold up, get a light for you. You see that screw? You need to get in there with this tool and loosen it up in order to make your cuts. I think that is so stupid in 2025, needing a screw to adjust stuff. Meanwhile, with the Ridgid, you take this lever, you slap it to the side, it unhooks, and you can make your adjustment if you need to make your bevel cut this way, 45 this way, hook it back into the center. It's as easy as that. Tab back down, and you're back to square. No problem. With the Flex, you could be out there somewhere, maybe you're on a job site, maybe you're at somebody's house. You lose this thing and you don't have, you know, something that fits. Well, you're not going to be making angle cuts with your jigsaw until you find another one. This is stupid, even though it does have onboard storage. But that is the dumbest thing ever. I don't want this. I don't know whose idea it was in 2025 to make this tool. This does not need to be tooled. This can be toolless. Probably the same person that did that was the same person that said in 2025, Flex doesn't need quick insert collets, which is so stupid. I mean, come on. Like, Flex has done so much innovation, and they definitely have a lot of things that people want, but there's also a bunch of things that they just completely missed the mark with, and it was such a wasted opportunity. So hopefully Gen 2 of the Jigsaw, you know, has the ability to turn the blower off if you want optimal dust collection. Does have a tool list, just a lever right here. Pop it out, get my angles. When I'm done, pop it back in, no problem. No tool. This is 6 with a 4 amp on it. It's just a silly amount of weight that is on this. I understand that Flex is building their tool solidly, but no Flex. There's no reason for them to be extra heavy. Some people are like, oh, well, why don't you just get stronger? Like that John, I forget his name, but the dude who's like super popular on YouTube because he was like one of the first adopters for Flex that was like really amping him up. It's not about being weaker. If I'm under a cabinet or if I'm, you know, in a doorway and I have to hold something above my head, I'm going to want the half a pound, 1 pound, 2 pound lighter tool that can get the job done. It's not about which one's cheaper. It's not about which one I saw first in the store. This is about utility. This is about function. This is about trade people who are needing dexterity. This is cool. Don't get me wrong. And half a pound, it's like a glass of water. You're not going to notice the difference. But over time, when you're carrying this up and down stairs, you know, you're not going to always have a pack out and a wheel, or you're not going to be working off the back of your truck all the time. You're going to need extra. You're going to be carrying that extra weight, and it's going to bother you eventually. So to summarize, both covered for life. Both have a lockout button. Both have variable triggers. Both have really nice grips as far as the texture for the handle. Both have lights. Both have orbital action. Both have the ability to make beveled cuts to 45. And both have quick insert / quick release for the blades. Looking for the one that's lighter, if you're looking for the one that does beveled cuts quicker and easier. If you're looking for the one that is most likely affordable, because I was able to find this on sale for $179, which it was a 2-tool combo that comes with the router. So basically for the price of this, you get this free, or for the price of this, you get the Jigsaw free, however you want to see it, for what the price of the Flex bare tool would be, $50 off. So if you're looking for the cheaper item, right there. Both covered for life, both solid. This one's stronger for sure. If you're looking for the ability to control whether or not you can turn on and off the blower motor, then right here is your best friend. They're both brushless. They're both solid pieces of equipment. But we also have to talk about the good stuff of Flex. If you're looking for auto mode to do most of the work for you, if you're looking for a lockout and you need one that you don't have to be pulling the trigger, you can just kind of lock it in and go. At that point, you can kind of go for the barrel grip anyways, but maybe you found a really good sale for this. This regular retail price is $220. I managed to, with the buy more, save more at Lowe's, pick it up for $108. Because of that deal, I was also able to get the kits for the compact impact and the compact drill for like $54 each, which is freaking insane. Because even the 2.5 you're not gonna get for $50. So crazy deal there. Again, really good lights on the Flex. I like that the compact also has modes. So pretty neat stuff. Ultimately, it's not about sucking up to one company or another. Completely unbiased here. And I'm just giving you the facts. I'm not going to sit here and chew through 10 2x4s just to say they both cut. Yes, they both cut. They're jigsaws. That's what they do. Which one's going to bog down less? This one. Which one's going to save your arm if you're going up and down stairs? That one. Which one's cheaper? That one. Which one will probably give you more control in your cuts? this one. But ultimately, if you're putting blades with low TPI or teeth per inch, you're going to get a lot of tear out and you're going to get a lot less control and a lot more vibration. You get more teeth from like a Milwaukee or a Diablo blade that has a lot more teeth. You're going to get nicer, finer finish cuts. So it's more about your attachments and your bits and your blades than it is about what tool is doing it. Again, trash bits and trash attachments make these things work harder. All your tools. If you go to Amazon and you get the most Chinese generic router bits, you're going to find that this tool has to work a lot harder. But so does this one. If you put cheap bits in them, they have to work a lot harder. So I know that I keep showing other tools, but it's just to show you I love tools. Respect your tools. Don't be biased. Just find what works for you. I have batteries from everybody because everybody makes good something. Also, really quick side note, between the two, the blade that comes with the Ridgid is garbage. So whichever one comes out of the box, if you need one right away, I guess you can use it. But otherwise, go ahead and go buy yourself some decent blades. The flex blades, on the other hand, the circular saw blades, the recip blades, you could do a lot worse. They got some solid stuff over at Flex. So out of the box, giving the edge to Flex for the blade. From what I've noticed, a lot of tear out. So it's a pretty generic, pretty aggressive blade. So do keep that in mind. Whatever comes out of the box, do not take that to somebody's counter and think it's going to give you a nice finished look. It's not. Have a little bit of everything. It's not about locking yourself into one platform, because yes, it's nice when you get to go somewhere and everything you need is, one battery away for everything. But sometimes one platform just makes a really good XYZ type of tool, and Flex doesn't have it. They just released the adhesive guns. They just released a heat gun. Flex just doesn't have the platform size that Ridgid, Milwaukee, Makita, DeWalt, etc. have. Hopefully they keep releasing tools, but hopefully Flex, if you're listening to this, keep your damn lifetime warranty. None of these companies, except for Ridgid, is really offering a lifetime coverage for their tool. That is something that sets you apart from Milwaukee, from DeWalt, and most of these people are getting really tired of warranting the Milwaukees because the quality control's dropping. Same thing with the DeWalts. People are sick and they want something reliable, dependable, and I'm seeing a lot more older guys that are switching from whatever they have to Flex, and I really like to see that, because there's people that are so cemented in, I've had my Milwaukee for 40 years, I've had my DeWalts for 40 years, I've had my Makitas for blah 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 years. No, they're moving over to Flex. They like what's there, they like the availability, they like how rugged the tools are, so it may be worth the extra weight to them. So keep yourself open to new tools, new ideas, and most importantly, soaking up as much experience and techniques as you can from people that are willing to share it. With that being said, which one are you going for? I want to know. Work smart.